Thanks for your time.
Hi.
It's Thiago Silva's birthday today. You give him an early birthday present by telling him he'll be involved in the squad tomorrow?
He's in the squad for tomorrow, so I'm not sure whether that's a birthday present or not for him, but he's getting fit, so in the squad, and I'll make a decision on how many minutes he may get during the game, what's best for him.
Almost 2 years ago, exactly, Championship side went to a big Premier League club in the League Cup and caused an upset. That was Derby at Old Trafford, so you can never take these games for granted, can you?
No, I certainly won't, regardless of that game itself. I've been involved in many games of this type in my career, playing and managing now, and understand the potential difficulties of them. We have to have absolute respect for the opponent. I know Barnsley now from watching them and how they play, their coach, the versatility of their team, the system of the way they play. And I'm sure, as most teams that will come to Stamford Bridge, in a competition like this from the Championship, they want to show, individuals will want to show, and collectively they want to show that they can compete with us.
It's a difficult one in a way for you to respond to, Frank, but it may obviously probably will impact on your fixture schedule going forward. The situation with Leyton Orient and Spurs tonight, if it is a bye, which it may be, that's not going to affect you of course, but if they have to play the game, it might be played when you should have, if you got through Friday night, played Spurs in the next round. What's your view on this whole scenario? How should it be sorted out?
I don't know. I don't have the view because these times that we're in are causing multitude of problems all over the place. So I'm very sympathetic to certain parts of it, and I don't know the ins and outs of the Leyton Orient situation in Tottenham. If there are lots of tests that are positive, then of course it puts the game in jeopardy. It's maybe how you find a solution then is up to the authorities. But it's a difficult time of year. It's a very difficult time of year for everybody for different ways, particularly with COVID. Ourselves, whereas we prepare for our game tonight, I'm happy that it's on because for me, it's with respect to Barnsley and with respect to the competition, it's a huge night for us for fitness of our team. We're getting fit, and I use this game primarily as another chance for the players to get fitter.
And on that subject, Boris has just announced, you're probably busy on the training pitch, but this October 1st date for beginning to get sports fans back to events is now not going to happen. Disappointed?
Yeah, clearly we all want fans back. The fans want to be back in a controlled manner, I think, which were the plans anyway, and I hope it just happens as quickly as possible. Again, these calls are for the government. There's a lot going on at the moment. Safety must always be paramount, but as soon as we can get a controlled level of fans back in the stadium, then we really have to try and push for that.
Last one from me. I'm going to upset you probably by mentioning Mendy's name again, but reports are to believe he's either had or is having a Chelsea medical. Do you have any news at all on that? Yeah,
Mendy's having a medical as we speak, so subject to that being okay later on, he will become our player at that point.
A good sign.
Sorry.
Okay, go to Moose, please.
Hi Frank.
Hi Moose.
Following on from the fact that Mendy's joining you, you told me on Sunday after the game that you were always going to play with Caballero against Barnsley. How's Kepa taken that news off the back of his performance, and how will you think of response to Mendy joining?
Well, the Willie Caballero decision, as I said, was made, and it was a decision I made a lot in cup competitions last year. So there's no response. That was a clear decision I made. Willie trains brilliantly throughout the year. He deserves his opportunities, and I decided on that before Sunday. With Mendy coming in, it's more competition. So every reaction will have to be positive around that for Kepa, for Mendy as he comes in himself. To push to try and play in this team. We know that. We know the standards that are required of a goalkeeper in this team, what we want, what we desire, and we have to push for that.
Apart from the obvious of looking for a place in the next round and a game against Spurs, how much are you, or Leyton Orient, how much and what are you looking to get out of the Barnsley game? Is it just fitness? Is this almost like another pre-season game?
Yeah, I'll be honest, Moose. We're in a very difficult position, I think, in those terms. I would say, I don't want to compare us to all the other teams, but we had pretty much as short a break as you can have because of our Champions League game against Bayern Munich, which took us 2 weeks beyond the regular season. And then we came back and played when everybody else started, unlike a few other teams in the Premier League. We also made some new signings. We also had double figures of quarantines at the start of pre-season, so we're clearly in pre-season mode, and that's why we mustn't get too judgmental. I'm not being too judgmental of the squad at this point, because we are short on fitness for individuals in the team. On top of that, I want to work on how we play and what we do, what we're about, and we showed fantastic stuff for big periods last year, and we want to move that step further. So every moment to work now is a moment to improve, and that means on the training pitch, and that means Barnsley tomorrow night.
Finally, from me, I know you already mentioned about the fans and the fact that now it doesn't look like they won't be coming back in October. They may not even be back in 2020. I spoke to Steve Bruce this morning. He said that last season had to get finished, but it's not the spectacle it used to be. It's not really proper football without the fans. Is it actually getting you and the players down having to play in empty stadiums?
It's not getting us down, because I think the professional element of it means that my job is more focused in a way without fans, because I can actually contribute more in game times and communicate with the players. So you just change your focus on that. We all seriously want fans back in, because this is what the Premier League is all about: having fans and having that interaction, home fans, away fans, whatever. It heightens the atmosphere, and we want that. So it certainly isn't getting us down. It's just we want them back badly. We want them back in a controlled manner, and let's hope we can find that way as soon as possible.
John Southall, 5-9.
Hi Frank.
Hi John.
How important was Petr Cech in the signing of Edouard Mendy? Was his recommendation?
Yeah, I think Petr was important in that, because it's a goalkeeper position is a very particular position. Petr Cech was the best in the world at that position for a long time, so he certainly will obviously have a big say in this situation. From my point of view, I lean heavily on him when it comes to the goalkeepers day-to-day, planning, future, everything. So, yeah, he was very influential.
On Tony Rudiger, what was the thinking about him not being in the squad on Sunday? And will he start tomorrow?
I don't want to divulge the starting team tomorrow, so I won't go there. But I said it after the game against Liverpool that I now, at this present time, have 5 centre-backs. So I don't want to have to answer the question every week of why 1 or 2 are on the bench or not in the squad. It's not possible. We don't have a squad, a bench of 9 players and 5 you can bring on. So sometimes people have to sit out.
And with Kai Havertz, obviously he played more of a central role on Sunday. Where do you see his best position?
Well, Kai has played various positions through his career, and he's played as a number 8, as a number 10. He played a lot of the right-hand side as well last year for Leverkusen. So I have my own ideas about where I see him going forward. I think the main point at the minute with Kai is getting him fit. He is heavily in what I mentioned with the team and squad being in pre-season mode. Kai, because of the situation, we aren't in the position where we can bring in players, backup players at big levels of money that we can wait and integrate them into the team. Kai has come here to be a huge talent for this team, and we just need to get him fit and ready, and then I think the position will become very clear. And
of the others, Pulisic, Ben Chilwell, Ziyech, any of those ready to?
Ben Chilwell's in the squad. Ben Chilwell's in the squad tomorrow, and Christian and Hakim Ziyech are getting closer as well.
Okay, Nick Pure, all PA.
Frank, obviously with great news that Mendy's hopefully going to be completed shortly, will that benefit Kepa in the long run to have that competition? Obviously, I know you really want everyone pushing each other. It's obvious, like you said, that confidence hasn't been brilliant for him, but it's been, some people sort of, I think, assume that that Mendy's arrival means that's that for Kepa, but I think you see that differently, don't you? Is that just worth stressing that, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know what benefits anyone in the long run. Football is always in your hands in the current moment and how you work going forward. So I think competition is a regular thing at a club like Chelsea. I know the goalkeeper situation is not always as clear cut as that, but that's where we're at. We have brought Mendy in to bring that competition. We know that it's an area that Kepa himself wants to improve in his own performance. So it's in everybody's hands in this squad to push, to train, to have the right attitude, to try and compete to get in the team. So that remains the same. So yeah, I'm not making any final statements at all at the minute. Football's not like that. The lads have to work. They have to be a squad. They have to have spirit and be together and back each other. Goalkeepers, particularly in their small group, have to do that day to day, and we'll see.
James Ollie.
Just following on from that, I mean, how difficult is it maybe the hardest position, goalkeeper, for a player to rebuild their confidence, because you either play or you don't, you don't play in a pairing. Could you just talk a little bit about, as a manager, how you tackle that, and how you rebuild that confidence in a goalkeeper?
Yeah, I think it is the hardest position because of the individual nature of it, and because the mistakes generally get punished with goals. That doesn't happen necessarily in other parts of the pitch, so the eye can easily be drawn to that, and I understand that. So I also, as a manager, have to be sympathetic to that point. Last year, I changed the goalkeeper between Kepa and Willie a few times, but when I do it with a different thought process to how I do it with outfield players, because I understand the different elements to it. So I'm very aware of that. At the same time, we're always striving for the best performance we can get, and that's what we must continue to do.
Last two, Liam Twomey and then Edouard Mendy.
Hi Frank, just to clarify on Mendy, is there any requirement on him to quarantine at all, or once he passes the medical, will he be available to you?
As far as I'm aware, and I'd rather you do some research and back this up as well with the doctors or the Premier League if you can, but as long as he passed, he's having his test now before he travels to England. He will be tested with us on Thursday collectively as a team, and all being well and the tests are negative, he's ready to play.
Okay, last question, Edouard Mendy.
Hi Frank, will you use this match to give any youth opportunities, or is it more of a case of sort of giving those sort of fringe members of the squad a bit of a chance to play themselves back into your starting lineup more often?
Yeah, we're at a position I mentioned before that this game for me is of course about getting through to the next round, as it always would be, but my huge eye is on the fitness of the team, because we're not fit now, which means our pressing game and the speed of our game will be very difficult to attain the levels that we want. So I'll use that game probably primarily for first team squad to get there. Also, we have the issue of the bubble now, where we cannot just transfer players from academy to first team training and into the squad. So that's slightly forced that one in terms of maybe getting some young players involved, which I would have liked to have done, maybe even off the bench.
Okay, that's the end of the broadcast section.